Sometimes you need to travel far away to re energize and refocus on what's important to you. And sometimes it can be as simple as a small creative break. Hi, I'm your host, Eddie Busset. And on today's episode, we talk with Linda and Kimberly, founders of My Creative Break, about their own travels that led them to want to share and help others find their own creative sparks and joy. We explore the ups and downs, the aha moments, and so much more. Hi, Kim. Hi, Linda. Welcome to Business Not 101.
Hi.
Hello.
All right, guys, let's get right into it. Please introduce yourselves.
Sure. I'm Linda. I always say I'm an accountant by day and I'm a creative at night. So I'm a writer, I'm an improviser, and I'm also a life coach.
I'm Kim, and I'm also a writer, and I'm also what you call a multi-creative. I enjoy everything creative, from dancing to theater, pretty much everything. And I have always grown up doing something creative, so I enjoy talking about everything creativity and everything that's related to that.
Excellent. All right, let's get the 60-second business pitch of My Creative Break.
Sure. So, My Creative Break, we are a community that motivates busy professionals to basically connect to their creative side. Or creative workshops and experiences. It helps them escape their everyday routines and worries so they'll feel energized and happier, which makes them also more positive, alert, productive, even adventurous in their work or projects.
And I'm going to add that we also offer workshops and team building programs to companies, which help them strengthen their bond and communication within their team and drive productivity.
Excellent. So when you guys started this, what was sort of the aha moment behind it?
Yes. So it started for me. I was working a few years ago. I was working, and I was very fortunate that I'm my workplace. We are able to take a sabbatical. So I decided to take a sabbatical year, and I called it my creative sabbatical. I decided that year would be the year that I would connect to my creativity. So I went off to Paris for a year, and through that year, I decided me working for a 9 to 5 job being an accountant, but I decided to really explore all my creative side, so writing, doing improv, stand up, so really trying out a little bit of everything. So after that year, when I came back, I was very fortunate that I had my job, so I went back to work. However, I wanted to still have that feeling that I could still connect to my creativity and continue doing those things. So I was looking for like a community, and I spoke to Kim, and that's where like she'll tell her side of the story. But that's when we started to thinking, yeah, we want to have like a community that motivates like people to just connect to their creative side. So yeah, I'll let Kim kind of continue the story.
Yeah. So I worked for a really long time in corporate marketing. And at one point, after doing it for so many years, I said, I kind of need a change. I feel like it's time for me to move on, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I just decided that, I'm going to drop everything and just take a break. And I decided that I wanted to go and travel for a little bit because I never really had the opportunity to do that. So I kind of just left everything and went and I traveled to Europe, stayed in Spain for a little bit, lived there for a little bit, and then did some more traveling to other different countries, and then went off to Asia, and then decided to explore what it's like to live in Asia. So I settled in Hong Kong for a little bit. And yeah, I mean, doing all of my travels, I got to do a lot of things that I hadn't like had time to do while I was working like 9 to 5, like when I was here in Montreal. And I also got to try some new things, like things that like I never thought that I would do. And I met a lot of people, and when I came back to Montreal, I was kind of thinking about it, and I was comparing, life here and life in Europe and life in Asia. And I was kind of thinking, the way I feel now, I feel different from when like how I felt when I first left. And I was trying to figure out, okay, why is that? Where is this coming from, right? And I realized that, the people who I've met in all my travels, the people who were the happiest are the people who made time for themselves, who took the time to actually do things that they like. And then I guess I was talking to Linda, and like, that's when we realized, when we were working here in Montreal, we never did that. We never made time to do things that we like a lot. We just worked and worked and worked, and that, kind of had an effect on us.
Yeah. And then so by talking, we said, okay, we need to have like this kind of community where we can motivate people. And yeah, that's when like we sat down, and yeah, the idea for my creative break was born.
Excellent. Now, I got the pleasure of actually attending one of your events, and I thought it was really brilliant. And sort of brings me up. Did you guys hit any roadblocks when you're about to launch this idea, or during your initial phase of launching this?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, we did have a lot of, we had like a lot of roadblocks. And I would say like the main roadblock that we had, for sure, it's just us like trying out, because we're just new, we were new entrepreneurs, we starting up. So the first thing, the roadblocks were just like, okay, where do we get started, like where, how do we really start this community? So that was like one of the first roadblocks that we hit. It's just like getting the tools, getting organized, and really getting started.
Yeah, we also like only two people. So, when we first got started, we kind of had to wear all the hats at once. Like we were everything. We, so yeah, like, and when we started, we had our day jobs. This was only a side project. So that was kind of hard to manage everything at once. I mean, we always had so many ideas, but we didn't have all the time to like execute them all.
Yeah, I think like every entrepreneur, every startup in the world. That's excellent. So, sort of leads me to this great question I started to ask. If you can go back in time and leave yourself a 30-second voicemail of something that you shouldn't have done or you should have done, what would it be?
For me, I would say, I would tell myself, well, start sooner. Like, don't be afraid, and just start. I think that this is the biggest, like, sometimes fear we have is just like we take time to kind of plan. For sure, we need to plan, but sometimes it's just like you just need to get started. So once you pass that, then you kind of learn and you have those plans and everything, but get started. So starting sooner, that would be definitely like my voicemail to myself.
Excellent.
Yeah, I would say, no, there are no bad ideas because, at the beginning we were kind of thinking, is this a good idea? Is this going to be worth doing? So there's no bad idea. If you have an idea, just go for it because, when you get an idea, it's because you believe in something, and when you believe in something, it's gonna go far.
Yeah, I think it's like one of those things with the imposter syndrome where we doubt ourselves
Yes.
and our ideas. Is it going to work or not? And I think like, am I the right person to do this? So,
Yeah.
so when you've created this project, what's your northern light? What's the one thing that guides you guys? What is your ultimate goal with this?
Yes, I would say like really helping people to really have fun in their lives, like bring this like sense of joy and calm and childlike kind of like, remember when we were young and we just playing without worry. So we want to bring that feeling because we know like especially now more so than ever, there's this kind of like disconnect. There's also, we work, and sometimes it's good to just like disconnect and connect with people and connect to things that we enjoy. So that, when I talk to some of my friends and they're like, oh, you did this and you connecting to your creativity, like how do you do this? And I try to motivate them too, just like, okay, you can do this too. And why don't you try painting, or why don't you go back to things that you love? And you can see like there's like this light on their face, and that really brings me joy. I really, that's the feeling I want people to have, and I guess that's our kind of northern light. We want people to feel that way, like when they come to our workshops, or just like even if it's just like giving them advice of just try something new. What is it, something that you had a passion for that you maybe pushed aside or you want to explore? Do it. And I feel like that feeling, that brings us like great joy. So that's, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point. So one of the things about your business is definitely a community based. So you need to grow your community.
Well, I mean, when we started, we kind of started as an Instagram page. So we started motivating people on Instagram, posting motivational quotes. And from there, we kind of grew our community. I mean, they found us there and they saw that we were also on Facebook. They joined us there. And we also join other communities to kind of like, get to know other people and have other people like get to know us. So, just putting ourselves out there, whatever resources we had. Yeah, like yeah, getting people who were interested in, what we're doing and why we're doing. And just, having natural conversations with whoever we came across, like either in real life or on social media.
So really organic.
Yes, organically, and joining like networking events as well, I would say. But like, yeah, mostly organic, and we're still kind of like again learning, still continue to learn, just to grow the community and using other means, social media, I would say, to really kind of grow it. Like, mhm.
Yeah, I had one guest who actually used BNI, which is Local Business Network International. I think it's what it stands
Oh,
for, and
yes,
it
Mhm.
costs you $25 or something. It's very small, and she's managed to quadruple her business with that because it's something
Mhm.
that's unique, but allows you to go to multiple different locations. So definitely,
yes.
community-based networking and business networking is really big. I agree. Yeah.
Yes, 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 that's
Mhm.
true.
So, what is your primary marketing strategy for you guys? How are you sort of marketing your services?
Mostly through social media and our website. I mean, we also have a newsletter that we send to our community, and like every time we have something to announce. And yeah, I mean, we attend like other communities, networking events, and just like word of mouth, just by like speaking about what we do, like organically to people.
Yeah.
Do you find a lot of your business is referral? Like people coming across your Instagram and sort of joining you or from other people that already have joined you and come and talk to other people, their friends or and other colleagues and bring in.
Yes, definitely, definitely. So far, referrals, it's people like, friends of friends or people that we met. And, sometimes I attend like a networking event. And so, I would say like what we're doing and say, oh, I met someone that's like, could be interested in what she do and kind of connect us and or attend or free workshops. And so definitely, definitely that's one of the ways that we grow. Mhm.
Excellent. And so moving forward, where do you guys think my creative is going to be in 1 year, in 2 years, in 5 years?
Yeah, great question. Um, I would say for this year, like definitely want to grow, continue growing organically, continue growing like our groups, our Facebook groups, but also starting like we already started to kind of like reaching out to really like corporations, like really kind of like targeting more like our clientele. So especially the corporate side, this is something that we want to develop, and also I would say for the next few years continuing like okay the marketing like there's a lot of means of social media, so the paid ads, also being more like creative in just like being present on Instagram. Now they have reels being creative to get out there and grow our workshops or offerings and our products, especially for corporates. So that's like one of the big things too that we want to.
I'm gonna add that, right now we're operating like 100% online. All of our workshops and programs are all like done through Zoom. So eventually, like, when this pandemic dies down, we'd like to take that into like, real life. We want people to have that real life connection and like to have that, physical community. So that's what we're hoping for.
Excellent. And you guys talked about really corporates. So there's something that's really popping out a lot is sort of these special services. So what excites you about your industry moving forward? Do you think this is a trend?
Yes, I think this will continue well into the future, especially after what we've been through from the past like 2 years or 2.5 years almost. So coming also from the 9 to 5 corporate world, I see that there's a need for just an emphasis on wellness and connection and really just like kind of engagement more through other activities, not only like work based, but also getting to know your colleagues. Sometimes it's hard, especially like I'd say virtually. Sometimes it's hard to really connect like we would connect like normally. So I feel like there's a really this need, and I guess like yeah, it's not only a trend. I think it will stay, it will remain. Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. And do you think that in sort of the corporate world, where do you guys see your services sort of be rendered in the future? Do you believe like the companies are going to integrate? I've had a lot of other guests talk about wellness and talk about their services, and I was always curious. Some companies are starting to look into incorporate those as part of their everyday business practice. Certainly, Google. I went to Google, and they actually bring a lot of this in house. So, do you think it's something that's going to happen eventually?
Yes, definitely. I think so. And I see that already. Sometimes like, having their own kind of workshops inside. But I see it also like, there's a place for both, like inside, but also like sometimes for big events, sometimes retreats, having someone from the outside, or just like bringing something bigger, a team building or something that's maybe that inside couldn't really do by themselves, or yeah, like have really the focus on that. But yeah, I guess like I feel there's a place for both of them, but I do feel yes that in-house will be competitive. The corporations will eventually like have their own in-house kind of wellness and workshops, and yeah.
Certainly larger ones, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I had one guest, and he has the Happy Startup School, and it was something when you guys mentioned retreats and create in person events, and he actually hosts these camp where they go away for a week. And so I was curious, is this something that when you talk about your like 3 to 5 years down the road, is this something you guys are looking at doing retreats, going outside of Montreal or outside of Canada, like going somewhere else and bringing all of your community with you, or at least, the ones who can go, but is that something you guys are looking into?
Yeah, we have talked about it actually before the pandemic, when everything that we were planning was supposed to be like in person. So we were talking about, building a community, making them network, having a space where people can, feel safe and get creative and, just like feel free and like meet other people. So we were actually thinking, like, on top of having, our regular workshops, our corporate workshops, we were thinking that maybe some of these people would like to go on retreats, go for a weekend away somewhere to actually, de-stress and feel free and, have a way to just tap into their creative sides with no boundaries. But then the pandemic happened, so
Yeah. Yeah.
we don't know where that's gonna go.
Excellent. Well, this amazing idea is taking this group of people and bring them something outside of their comfort zone, somewhere they just can't go home afterwards, that they actually have to stay and get to know each other. So I love these ideas of retreats and concepts of taking people outside of their comfort zones.
Yes, and I would say I would add to that because like both of us, like when we experimented, like we were going away, like we did the creative sabbatical, we went away. So I went to Paris, and I always people always ask me like, oh, how do you plan for a creative sabbatical maybe away? So that's something that we did talk about too, having maybe those kind of travel kind of retreats, like okay, go somewhere else and really, like you said, like be outside of the comfort zone and experiment, just wearing a different hat for 3 months, 1 month, 3 months, or whatnot, but having those kind of experiences in other countries away from where you're at. And so definitely.
Yeah, I think it's life changing. One of the things that I always try to do is whenever I travel to a new city, is I reach out to startups and to small businesses at co-working spaces that like WeWork and other
Mm.
ones locally, and I say, hey, do you want to meet up for a coffee? And I would say about half the time people say yes, and I get to meet people, but the people who are there, not necessarily people from that city themselves, because they're startups and they're entrepreneurs.
Mhm.
So they're from other parts of the world or other cities, certainly in the US. And it's always intriguing to get to meet them. Obviously, pre-pandemic, unfortunately, but it's something that I feel is so important, is to open up our worlds and not to be stuck in one little cylinder of a space. So I think it's
Yeah.
brilliant. All
Yeah.
right, moving on. Now we want to get to know you guys as entrepreneurs. So my first question is, What is one habit that makes you more productive as an entrepreneur?
Well, I mean, I guess like, we're both naturally hard workers, but I mean, what makes us succeed in this is that like we love what we do. Like we actually have a passion for it, and we believe in our business, and that just makes us productive. Like, and every time we meet, we motivate each other, and sometimes we have to meet at night. And sometimes one of us is like, "Oh, I'm really tired," and the other one's like, "No, no, we have to do this. We believe in it." So, like, we believe in it. We keep going, and we stay productive.
Excellent. I love that. I love that. It's
Right.
so true. The moment you start wavering in the startup scene, it's not good news. So
Right.
you have to keep going.
Yes.
So now is there anything that makes you unproductive? Something that takes away your time? Like for myself, it's TikTok. I gotta get rid of that app. I just could spend hours on that.
Yeah, I would say like both of us, like, because like, okay, we have like our other jobs, and also we have other things that we're doing, like, I write, I have, sometimes doing improv, so there's other things that like get our attention, so we have to block off time and really kind of be disciplined. It's like, okay, have our calendars, this, like, for instance, Sunday evenings we work like business, plan a week, so we really have to kind of plan those times, because if not, like, it's really easy to get kind of filled, like, yeah, with everything else.
Yeah, time just becomes overwhelming and just run out of it. Yeah, I understand. So, what is one thing that you guys feel gives you a real edge in your business?
I would guess, so in our business, what gives us an edge, as well, both of us, like, we, do come from like the 9 to 5 corporate. Also, we are kind of like, we experiment what we're right now offering, like this disconnect and connecting to our creative side. I That gives us an edge, because we really do know what we're talking about, what we experimented. We know the feeling, and we want to people to feel those same, like, good feelings, to connect to their creativity. Also, I would say the other thing that gives us an edge, like, we're very creative, both of us, in different ways. We have a lot of ideas, so we kind of like, okay, execute. Or if something is not working, we're really quick to just, like, we have the other idea already there. So I feel like that gives us an edge too, because it's just like, okay, let's move on. We brainstorm. Okay, next. If that's not working, we have always another idea for that. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like our knowledge combined is like, it's like everything. Like she has an accounting and finance background. I have more of the marketing and like the arts background. So we kind of have like a different knowledge to like with to kind of get going with whatever like we need to do. So like I'll handle things like websites and ads while she handles like other things. So even though
Yeah.
we all have to wear like a million hats at once, it kind of works out very well.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
also, oh, sorry, no, I was just saying, also, like, for our workshops, like, both of us, we have like this, like, we had the improv background. We love people, we love kind of like, entertaining and motivate people to get out of the comfort zone. So our workshops, like, we really, it comes through, like, this kind of just like wanting to people to really feel safe, and also getting them out of their comfort zone, and having fun. So yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. What is one routine that you guys do daily or weekly that helps you stay grounded? Certainly, when you're in a startup world and in a small business, it's constantly go, 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 go. So, what's one thing that brings you back and relaxes you from yoga? For example, for me, it's writing my journal every day, how I feel, how I'm feeling, how I physically and mentally, and then what I want to accomplish that day and things that bothered me the day before. Sort of empty out myself in my journal. You guys?
Yes.
For me, yeah. Well, for me, it's just about like taking a little bit of time just to do like something that's not work related, so something fun. So maybe one day I'll just like I'll do some reading. Another day I'll do some writing. Another day I'll like completely switch gears and just start dancing in my living room. So
Yeah.
yeah.
For me, yeah, like, I have like this new morning routine, so really take time to just, like, having this like 5-minute morning meditation. I try to really start the day with that, so I incorporated since last year, and it's been something that's like keeps me grounded. And also, I would say, like, really, I love writing and building other worlds. So when I'm into like building like my story, I love that. So I would say writing. And also, I won't lie, like Netflix and chill is always good for this. It's always something that
Yes,
disconnects me. So yeah.
yeah, excellent. So, what is one piece of technology that you guys use daily that you could not live without?
Oh, that'll probably be Zoom. Like we're on Zoom all the time.
Yeah, I guess like for these past few years, Zoom is really like yeah.
That's interesting. It's the first time somebody said Zoom. Everybody else has said phone, computer, whatever. But that Zoom that's
Yeah,
great. Yeah,
because
true.
because even like for meeting, like like we've been in lockdowns, like even if we're physically in the same city, we've been doing our meetings mostly through Zoom. Like we haven't met physically, really not that much during the pandemic. So if there was no Zoom, like of course it'd be phone, but like at least like that adds like something. So I would say yeah, definitely Zoom during the pandemic. It's been like yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. One of my questions I sort of end all my interviews with is, what is one business book that you guys have read or business related book that you would suggest the audience to read that really helped you guys?
Yeah, I'd say for me, like it was like it's a book that's called like the 24 like discipline entrepreneurship. I said steps for a startup. It's by Bill O'Day. So in that book, um, it's just like for people who start like a startup. It gives like 24 steps, and yeah, I feel like I've been reading it, just trying to find kind of a, let's say, a plan, something that's more like okay, we've went through the steps, some steps, not in the exact order, but it gives just a sense of just like okay, where am I at and where it needs to go, and it applies to most businesses. And I think like this book, it was more like a teacher from MIT, I believe, and it's more like yeah, technology, but I feel it applies to everyone. So I would definitely, someone that's starting up and wants to kind of have the steps to follow, I feel it's a pretty good book.
Excellent. Well, that's it for all the questions. Now I'm going to leave you guys, but with one more. How could the audience come and connect with you guys? What's the best way to come out and reach you? Is it on LinkedIn or on Twitter? What's the best way they can come and connect and have a conversation with you guys?
Well, they can reach us in any way that they want. Our website is mycreativebreak.com. We're also on like every social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. We're really easy to find. Is at My Creative Break on everything. So whatever way they want to reach out to us, like we're always there.
Well, I want to thank you both for joining me today. It was an absolute pleasure.
Yes, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Guys, I want to thank you for joining us today. We hope that these podcasts give you some insights from the stories and experiences of the founders, entrepreneurs, and business owners who share with us. And we hope that you find some useful takeaways that help you along your own business journey. Like always, please follow and leave us a review. Until next time.